$10,000 gone along with my wife. I was married for 15 years with 3 boys 9, 11, 12. Last Christmas, I found out my wife was having an affair with the neighbor's brother. It was one of the most painful things that ever had happened. I tried to work things out with my wife, as I wanted my family. I did not want to have to give up half the holidays with my kids. We started counseling, but it was a waste of time as she was gone by then. But I did find out that one of my neighbors, her best friend, not only knew my wife was having an affair, but also conspired in helping it along. During the whole mess, it gave me an opportunity to be a better man and father, and I relished it. There was little that I could do to save my marriage. I tried my hardest, but she was in love with a man 10 years older. She is 45 and I am 42. The whole divorce thing was horrible. To the lawyers, it is not your life, you are just another case, so know the law and don't fight losing battles. In Maryland, it is a $25 fine for adultery, and they don't give a damn who did it. You just split your assets 50-50. Since I was the breadwinner, I was screwed. She cheated on me. She gets alimony and refuses to work 40 hours a week. She gets child support for kids that have asked to live with me only, but the court will not allow for it until they are 16. In MD, the law is the law. It doesn't believe in fair or unfair, it is just guidelines. It doesn't care who is right or wrong, it just follows guidelines. I realized this very early in the process, so I knew I would have to give her half. My wife moved out last March, but still was able to go into our house technically, and money gone from my closet. She took $10,000. We refinanced the house. I gave her $10,000 and had my own, which she took when I was out of town. Yes, it was stupid to have it in the house, but I was moving it from a safety deposit box. Over the course of the divorce, I never wanted, but now I am glad it is done. My now ex-wife had my neighbor call the Department of Social Services on me to try and have the kids taken away. The neighbor who called is the sister of the man she had an affair with. She stole money from me, took everything of value out of the house when I was on travel for work. My kids found notes of her affair with the neighbor's brother. Her friend purposefully ran into me with her car, and now to top it off, my ex-wife is now screwing my other neighbor as the one on the other side cut her loose. I wish I were making this stuff up. I got the kids Christmas morning and she dropped them off and went right in his house and slept there for a couple of days. I am selling my house to get out of my trash neighborhood. Just FYI, my house is 6,000 square feet. This is not a poor neighborhood, but it lacks in values in so many ways. What I have learned through the whole process is, 1. You can wish the world was better, but you cannot change people. They are who they are, and no matter what you do, if they are to change, it's up to them. All you can do is focus on making yourself a better person. 2. The law is not rigged, but it is not helpful. The judge has no idea who is lying, so be calm. If you are going to get screwed, then it's not the law's fault, so there is no use in crying about it. Just accept it and move on, or waste tons of time and energy fighting a losing battle. 3. In a divorce you will lose. There are no winners. You will lose something. For me, I lost half my savings and half my time with my kids. I am the one who takes them to all the practices and games and pays for all their school stuff and sports. But that really doesn't matter. The law doesn't care. Come to terms with it and minimize the pain. 4. Even in the darkest times, God has been good to me. There are several times when I thought how my life was good except for just one thing. When a spouse cheats, they have no respect for you. They don't care about what they are doing to you or the family. It is selfish, but it is their choice. You can't do anything to change them. That has to be done on their part. As for me, the divorce was extremely painful. I tried to make it work, but I was blindsided by its way too far into it to ever have had a chance. I am not perfect, and things leading up to the divorce, well, I did have my share of faults and blame, but it could have been worked out if both people wanted to. It takes 2 to get married, but 1 to get a divorce. I have met a beautiful woman. I am going to counseling because honestly, having 2 of your neighbors doing your wife and now ex-wife, well, that just isn't right to me. Be strong. Invest in yourself with the Bible, self-help books, the gym, etc. Get straight with God, yourself, and your family, and things will work out for you. They may not be what you wanted, but if I got what I originally wanted, I'd probably more miserable right now. I have traded up in the world. My girlfriend is beautiful and I have a much stronger relationship with my kids now. The time we spend together is valuable, so we always try to make the most of it. God bless and be strong. I am paying alimony for 3 years. I was set against it on a moral ground, but my lawyer told me even if I fought it, I would have to probably pay her anyway because of salary discrepancy. So, I acquiesced. As for her stealing the money, I confronted her. My kids were in the house and they knew what happened. I have been open and honest with them about us not getting back together, etc. I have tried to not have them deal with things, but their lives were really shattered by this whole event too. I filed a police report, but because my ex's name was still on the deed, I could not do anything about it. My kids are doing well. It was rough for everyone. I had to be done with the whole thing to understand where I am. My lawyer was good, she was honest and fair. I was angry for a long time. I took it out on the bench press at the gym. The gym gives me a routing to release the anger and keeps me occupied. I went from benching 175 to 275, so it has been good. Sometimes life just gives you lemons, so make lemonade. They also taste good with vodka. There was nothing fair about it. The law is not fair, it's the law, and I am glad it's not about being fair. Because she might have been a very convincing liar in court. My kids know that when they turn 16, they will come live with me permanently. My child support payments will become their college payments. Divorce financially is ruining. I met a girl who is great with my kids. They cling to her because she hugs them and they get the affection from her the wish they had from their mom. My girlfriend is beautiful and sweet and helps me with things like telling me I should separate lights and darks in the wash and simple things like that. I was used to mowing and cleaning and fixing, but laundry not so much. Not I cook and clean and laundry and mow and rake and cook and bake and everything. Being bitter will not help you in any way, and it isn't always the men. I'd say half the cheaters are the women. It's the people who don't have morals and respect and are just extremely selfish. The ex blames me for her affair. She told me that if was giving her what she needed it would not have happened. I listened to her and I didn't deny that I wasn't Ward Cleaver. She had been pretending to be happy for months, so she said, I hate to say it, but I am a guy. If you are telling me you are happy and act happy when I am around, I think you are happy. I know it's crazy, but I am just not that sophisticated. To this day, she treats me like I am a POS. I spend more time with the kids. I cook for them, make them good meals, talk to them, etc. I am close to them. When she takes them out, she has to bring friends and alcohol along. It is what it is. I am building a good relationship with my kids and I have some very real examples of what not to do. If you constantly blame someone else for what you have done, then you never look at yourself and honestly assess what you have done. I don't think she can honestly look at herself. It's okay. It's her choice and her life, and she has already alienated 2 of our 3 kids. I don't feel sorry for her because she was given so many opportunities to stop and see what damage she was doing to everyone, but she never did. Now she has to live with what she has done and it's not going to be easy for her. In Maryland, alimony is meant to be rehabilitative. She can have a 40-hour-a-week job. She is skilled and has a college degree. She doesn't want to give up her social life or do the things that I do to earn money. Like travel, work 20-hour days at times. I would have fought permanent alimony till I was broke. She got roughly $200,000 and I am so broke now it is sad, but it's fine. I have a trebuchet in my garage. I built it with my son for his science fair project and we went to the World Championship Pumpkin Contest in Delaware. It was a lot of fun. I met a much younger girl. She is 42 but born in March as opposed to January. For me, divorce isn't about win or lose. It's not about revenge. My girlfriend is beautiful but more she is loyal and genuine. Let's face it, in 20 years we will both be 60 so no one will care. I wanted someone I wanted to be with when I'm 62 not 42. Don't get me wrong, I have 3 boys and they fuss over who gets to sit next to her on the couch or at dinner and I have to wait my turn. I want her all to myself but they love her affection too so I give over a bit more than I'd like. She is beautiful, not just pretty, but that is not why I am attracted to her. It sure as hell doesn't hurt. Funny aside, I was at my kid's soccer game and afterwards, my son told me that he didn't know if the guy my ex was with was his grandpa or my mom's boyfriend. That did make me laugh even though it is a bit petty. As for God, brother, if you think God wants you to be miserable then you need to find a new church. Even in the darkest times of my life he blessed me. I read what I was supposed to be doing. Courageous is a great movie for men who want to be better fathers. I have been working hard at being a better father and husband. The crap in my life will come and go but his work and knowing that he loves me and my boys and even my ex-wife is really powerful. Happiness is not permanent. It is fleeting, but I have been blessed with opportunity, friendship, a loving girlfriend, etc. I just found out last week that my girlfriend has stage 2 cancer. I have faith that she will make it through this episode and even if something were to happen to one of us tomorrow. I am thankful that I had this time on earth to spend with someone who loves me. That is what life is all about. We all die someday. I tell my boys, you may not be able to choose your circumstances, but you can choose your actions. I have been given a new perspective on life with all the crap I have been through and my girlfriend is going through her own hell. With what happened to me and how I look at the world, I am the answers to her prayers. I will love her and take care of her no matter what. The world isn't just about you. I never asked God for what I wanted. I asked him for what he wanted me to have and it seems I was put where I was for a reason. Someone in the world really needs me right now and I have been molded to be who I am for her right now. I sure as heck am not perfect but I have something of value to offer. That wasn't an accident. It was grace. Comments. Dude, God has a special place in heaven for guys like you. I would have to say that you are in for some great rewards for the crap that you just went through this past year. He even gave you a hot chick, and there was a reason for that. It sounds like she is going to need a cat like you in the next couple of months. Your kids will also be a great reward for you in the future. That a given. While their mother dies alone in a trailer full of cats and cat boo only to be found by the mailman, your kids will grow to respect you while they resent their mother and the women she has become. Sorry man, that's just how it works. You hear about it in the news all the time. Not trying to be mean, but why else do these kinds of people have this happen endless? It was something they did in the past. You, my friend, will die surrounded by a lot of loved ones. Not surrounded by dogs eating your flesh cause they haven't been fed and no one cares cause you were such a jerk in the past. You know what I mean? OP responds. My neighborhood is full of gossips, etc. I am sure the whole neighborhood knows what is going on. She dropped the kids off at my house Christmas morning and then spent the next 2 nights at my neighbor's house. That will get around. My ex has been selfish for a long time. She can't see the reality of what she has done and I don't think she actually can face it. I believe that she will be looking for a happiness that will not come until she actually looks at herself. I don't want her to be a miserable old cat lady. It's up to her to look at herself and decide who she wants to be. I can't change her. She made her decisions. To be honest, I was not a perfect husband and I did ignore her a bit. Not on purpose, but as we fell into 15 years of marriage, etc., the divorce was not all her fault. I was not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but the affair? Yes, that was her. Our marriage could have been saved, but that was her decision, so I moved on. I am not bitter. I don't want to put her on any cheating site or anything like that. She will have to answer for what she did one day, as will I. I don't want to tear her down to make myself look better. I want to be better and lead by example. I am sure she has a very plausible story of why she needed to have an affair and wouldn't go to MC and all that. That isn't what is important. Everybody chooses their actions. I just want to make mine matter more. It's not about who wins or getting revenge. Now I am not going to say that I don't get petty and make cracks about her and the neighbor because it does bother me. I have to sell my house and move now and I am not perfect. It's an opportunity to start over. Feeling sorry for yourself, trying to get back at someone, trying to make them understand what they did. That's all crap. Life is short. Make the most of your life for you. Things will happen for you. Just relish them as they come along and enjoy them. I do things because I want to. I love my GF, love my kids, and my life is starting to get back on track. I have been blessed through this whole thing. Just an update. For those who think I sat here and just let things happen and didn't take any action, let me put this in perspective. I did everything I possibly could to save my marriage. MC, reading, listening, learning, putting into practice what I could learn, everything. I doted, I was strong, but honestly when it happened, my whole world came crashing down, and when I look back at it, I know my mind was not firing on all cylinders. How could it? My wife of 15 years, who I thought was loving and loyal, had been straying for years, and when I found out, I did what I could. I wanted to be divorced. I was done, and then I read that a man should love his wife like Jesus loved the church, so I forgave. It didn't work out. I did not kick her out, she left. She left me, and the boys hurt so many people I can't describe it all. The thing is, I am glad she left, because when I found out the totality of it all the cheating, I don't think I could ever have been happy in our marriage again. If you don't think I didn't out her behavior, well, you are absolutely wrong. Shine light on the darkness, and I did. Now my ex has many more social connections in the neighborhood, so she spun her webs. But all that did was make life harder for my kids. If you think I ever let people walk all over me, well, you don't know me at all. I am passive to a point until someone violates my code of right and wrong, and then I just fight. Let me put it this way. My neighbor is sleeping with my ex. She is my ex. As disgusting as it may be, I have no legal recourse in that. My kids are not happy with their mom, but she is their mom and they have to be with her according to the court. There is no way as a man and MD that I could have gotten full custody of the kids. My ex is crazy, but she could have made a play for primary caregiver. I got the best I could get out of the situation, knowing that I couldn't realistically hope for more. Should I be angry or bitter? Well, what is that going to do? A whole lot of nothing. The only thing you can do is make yourself better and see what happens then. So, I did. I don't hate my ex. I think she is exacting her own punishment on herself. She will be miserable for years to come. Our kids are angry with her for good reason. I have a good relationship with them and I am doing my best in guiding them. My girlfriend, who will be their stepmom, is already a mom to them. She hugs them and loves them and treats them as her own. I do the same for her kids. We had to put our 15-year-old dog down today. My GF held the 2 younger boys as they cried, and they love her because she loves them. I have a new family now. My ex can try and find happiness in what she is doing, and maybe that works for her. I don't think it will. I don't drink or party. I play Clue or Othello or Monopoly with my kids, and soccer and football. That is my idea of happiness, and when I don't have the kids, I have absolutely no control over what any person does. They make those choices. My kids know exactly how I feel. They know that I wasn't perfect in our marriage, but I sure as hell didn't deserve to be cheated on like I was. I found out that when I was on travel working to provide my ex and family with a house and things, she would have my neighbor over till 3 a.m. drinking on the couch in the living room. Obviously now that we are divorced, my neighbor can be happy that he can just openly bang my ex. Yes, it bothers me. It doesn't bother me in that I want her back. Believe me, my girlfriend, fiancé is a big step up. It bothers me that someone would just do something so blatantly wrong and not care who it hurts. She will drive over to the neighbor's house when she drops the kids off and make them walk over to my house. How do you think they feel about that? She is eroding her relationship with the kids. That is not my fault or my choice. You cannot stop someone from acting an ass. Sometimes things just have to run their course. If I would sit and be angry or bitter and scream at everyone who knew her about what she did, they wouldn't know what to believe and it would just take a lot of energy out of me. The best thing I have done is get my life straight. With the people who matter most, like my kids, they know what the deal is. Other people want to make their decisions on who they like best, so I am not interested in persecuting her publicly. I don't want her to grow up to be a bitter old cat lady. At one time I loved her dearly, and while she did hurt me so badly, I don't wish revenge. It's just not important. I realized there was no going back to the life that was, so I sat down and I made a list of things I wanted to do with my life, and I am pursuing it. I have a beautiful girlfriend. She looks like she is 27 and is 42 and is stunning. She needed me as much as I needed her, and we love each other dearly. She is amazing with my kids and she helps me with simple stuff that I need. I have a much better relationship with my kids. They know everything that went on. They saw me try and grow and love them as best as I could. They saw me fall and pick myself up and work with them as best I could. They would love to live with only me, but the courts won't allow it. I'd have a 0.01% chance of getting full custody as a man in MD. The courts do not want to hear the children testify as to what they want. So, we make the best of a bad situation. As for God, I read his teachings. Being angry and bitter are not the way. God has been my rock. I have my boys say grace at dinner. We say prayers before bed. I want my children to become good men before they become anything else. I did fight the good fight. I did my best and I tried, even though at times I would rather had given up and walked away. I honestly believe God gave me what he wanted to have and not what I asked for. Yes, I wished my marriage wouldn't have fallen apart, but that was not my choice. I was given a second chance by grace, and I am very happy as to where my life is going. I choose to not be bitter. Don't get me wrong, I am not always the better man. I don't like my ex behavior and I tell my kids. I just tell them the truth. The truth in this case is not very nice and something I should never had to talk to them about. When they asked her why we were getting a divorce, she would tell them adult reasons. Then they asked me, I would tell them the truth. I told them I wasn't the best husband, and I finally told them about the infidelity as she was doing it in front of me and the kids, so I just let it all out. Was it the best thing to do? I don't know, but I am only human, so I spoke the truth. Anyway, being bitter and angry did not help me start over. Focusing on the things I can control, myself and my relationships with my kids, friends, and family, is what I can control. That is what worked for me. My life is getting so much better, and I believe it is simply grace. There is nothing to be angry about. I have lost a lot because there was nothing I could do about it. I was never the perfect husband or father. What I have gained from this is immeasurable. I have a new and much better outlook on life. I have a very close relationship with my boys. Sometimes I have to be the dad and enforce some discipline, but that is part of the job. We do a lot together. I don't take days for granted anymore. I try to live every day to its fullest if I can. Tonight, my little one doesn't have football practice. We will go to State Park, climb South Mountain, climb the original Washington Monument, and take pictures of the mountains in autumn when the leaves are turning, and watch the sunset. I still sleep on the floor when we aren't sleeping over my GF's house. But so what? We don't have TV, but I will download this week's episode of The Walking Dead and spend time as a family doing homework, practicing sports, enjoying life, and being together. That is the stuff that is important. I get angry when people interfere with my life and my family. You cannot help your circumstances sometimes. You can only help how you act in them. Like I said before, my ex's boyfriend mistook my desire to avoid conflict as a weakness. Now he does not have that false impression any longer. I'm in debt. I sleep on the floor. I fail all the time, and you know what? Life is really good. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Few months later, just updating my personal thread. I had to go to court 2 weeks ago. I am filing for sole custody of my 3 boys, and I am relatively sure that I will get custody of at least the 2 older boys, if not the third as well. I did not put in many details as of yet, as this was a fluid situation and I wanted the court process to be started. It will be decided in a few months. The outlook for me getting sole custody is good. When I had my D-Day 2 years ago, I was shattered. I went through the healing process and I did a tremendous amount of introspection. This is the key to moving ahead. It is the self-assessment, the honesty with oneself and the desire to be a better person that if you let motivate yourself, you can come out of the infidelity process stronger whether you are or it is when you don't harbor the bitterness and the anger toward your WS and you can forgive them and start your self-improvement that you can really find a newfound peace in life. I am angry with my ex because she has never sat down and did her own part and just blamed me. The result is she has become, if she already wasn't, a horrible mother to our two oldest. They want nothing to do with her for the most part. They will spend Christmas with her, but in essence, my oldest lost his mother and I don't know if she is ever coming back. My boys are doing well. Good grades, mostly behaved. They are boys. My two oldest just played in the National Soccer Championships in Florida on 2 separate teams. I was dating a beautiful woman for 16 months. She is gorgeous and wonderful 5 out of 7 days and has BPD. Our relationship finally ended as it really was destined to. But we still keep in touch. I miss her and the boys do as well and she misses us, but we are both moving on with our lives in separate directions. It is a sad tale and a very happy one, but it had a beginning and an end. For Christmas, I am recharging. We got a bunch of Christmas ornaments and I am letting my ex do some work with the boys. Like have them over her house and do nothing while I take a break from doing all of the work with the kids. After my D-Day I wrote down who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do with my life. I did that for this Christmas. I have been dating again. There are so many beautiful women out there. It is so easy to find dates to do great things with. All you have to be is open and honest, sincere and strong, and life will bless you. I have dated about a dozen different girls in the past couple of months and there are a few that really seem worth getting to know better. I have no rush to jump into anything. Having beautiful women send text pictures to me in Santa suits makes me very appreciative of the holidays, and it also makes me wonder who else is on the Christmas card list. Level-headed but love the present. For Christmas, when else were to see straight no chaser with a wonderful blonde. I had one of the best dates I've ever been on. We sat very close, comfortable but not intimate, and it was a great time. Going to the Kennedy Center to see Handel's Messiah with this stunningly beautiful auburn-haired girl tonight. She is so sweet. I'm a little gruff, so this should be fun. I tricked her into going with me. Going to the symphony and ice skating with another beautiful redhead this weekend. After the symphony we are going to watch It's a Wonderful Life, my favorite Christmas movie. Taking my boys to see the lights at the zoo and tree at the White House. Had another date where we had dinner and just walked down by the harbor in Baltimore and looked at all of the lights. Going to see Jim Gaffigan with a wonderful lady in January. Baking cookies, gingerbread houses with the boys, and going a little off-roading in the snow with my boys in my Jeep. We will also go tubing soon. There is so much to do. There are so many wonderful people out there. You can choose to sit home and be miserable this Christmas, or you can choose not to. This is the first year ever that I will not have my boys on Christmas. I decided that since I can't go to the gym, I would make my own memories that I will have for Christmas. So, I have been busy enjoying the wonderful company of beautiful women, enjoying the season with my kids, and giving back to the community. I took 4 underprivileged boys to a theme park for the day. Giving back to people, offering yourself and feeling the appreciation that they give you is worth its weight in gold. To everyone here, BS, WS and others, Merry Christmas. I may disagree with many of you, but it doesn't mean that I don't value your opinion. For those that I agree with a lot, keep on being right. May God bless each and every one of you this season, and please remember that though we all have our trials, the end product that you choose to be is what is important. I've gone out with about 25 girls since November. There are 3 that I'm dating that I like have potential for a long-term relationship. I'm not making any promises or commitments for at least 6 months. I dated just to see who I liked or not. Some of them were gorgeous. All of them were pretty, but looks fade, so I just want pretty enough, and I want one I want to be with. Some were too pushy. Some had issues they needed to resolve. Some were wanting too much too fast. Some were too easy, and I'm just not going down that road. But all of them were very nice. I just did a will this go anywhere test. Have you guys had any experience dealing with post-divorce dating? Story 2. Wife was shocked that I want to leave because I might not be the father. I found out that my wife cheated on me 22 years ago, then again 2 years later. Both times were a one-time thing while I was deployed in the Navy. I just found all this out 4 days ago and am trying to cope. At the beginning of the week, I had the ideal marriage, but now I'm a mess. We were so good together, my son would tell us we should counsel others about marriage. I don't want to throw this away and am trying to work things out. She says these are the only 2 times she has cheated. I believe her because our marriage has been so great for the last 10 years and don't believe she would lie to me now. Her mother told me about the first incident, which was the only one she knew about. My wife come clean about the second one immediately after I confronted her about the first. One of my biggest problems is that the first incident casts doubt about if I am my son's biological father. I felt he had a right to know about this problem, so my wife and I told him about it. My son and I both agree that we don't care if I am the biological father. I am the father that matters. We have decided not to do any testing to determine if I am the bio dad. Now I don't know if this was the right decision. I can't bring it back up with him for fear of hurting him. If anyone has dealt with a similar issue, I'd like to know how you handled it. Sorry, this was so long and thanks for any advice. Comments. I must caution you that affairs can go so deep underground that when you as the BS think your marriage has been great, it often is the case that she is deceiving you. These words are not to sway your current thinking, they are to warn you that those in affairs follow a script and your situation is not unique. I strongly suggest you find out everything about her OMs and find them. Do not convince yourself that your wife is being truthful. She has successfully lied to you for much of your marriage, and the only reason you found out is her mother told you. That implies your wife is able to compartmentalize her affair and put on a great show to you. Please do not let this pass by without thorough investigation, and I would go so far as to suggest a polygraph to verify the truth. I can assure you of one thing: your wife will know if your son is yours or not. What you cannot accept is her words. Verify them. Words and advice from cheaters to each other. If caught, lie. We don't even have to make this up, as they publicly post this advice to fellow cheaters. People usually keep dark secrets to themselves. One night things fall within that category, but sometimes a partner may feel confident enough in a relationship to clear their guilty conscience. However, I cannot see the logic in her opening that paternity can of worms based on her indiscretion many years ago. Maybe I'm wrong, but information is missing. She is not saying something. My suggestion is to talk with her again, establish a timeline, and listen carefully to what she is not saying. OP responds, I was on a 3-month deployment. She must have had the affair shortly before I got back. When I got back, she refused to sleep with me for about 2 weeks. At the time she said she didn't know if she wanted to stay married. Now she says it was because she was disgusted with herself. She says she had a period after the affair and before I got home. After about 2 weeks we began engaging again, then few weeks later she found out she was pregnant. The exact timing of all this is hard to determine because it was 22 years ago. Update. We are fully R and everything is good, except that I still struggle with mental images born of all the detail I learned about the affair. I knew one of the OM and have found that I obsess about that more than the other. I guess it's because I have a more complete picture. I find that almost all my idle time I end up thinking about it. At times when my wife and I engage, I have to make sure it didn't play out like one of the affairs, which completely shuts down the mood. 2 years later, my wife and I are almost fully R at this point. My main problem these days is how unusual her affairs were. Especially the second ONS. It still doesn't make sense, so I sometimes still have doubts. Is there anything to be gained by contacting the OM and asking for his side of the story? My comment: there is no point of contacting the AP or choosing a woman who ran away with your money. If you want to stay in a limbo, don't complain if anything happens to you afterwards. Like I have always stated, sometimes these OP makes the dating scene a bit safer for all of us.